All right, welcome. We have very special guest here, Bradley Soanes.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
How are you feeling? How's your life update situation? We were talking a little bit about the Padres before this. The
Yeah,
one time I'll allow it,
dude, I'm
but
doing good. I'm happy to be here in the Cellar Pod, the Losers Pod, the 11th and 12th place teams coming at you. Dude, life update. I went to a private screen of Ghostbusters last night with my girlfriend Kendra, not my wife, my girlfriend Kendra, who some of you know. We were at the theater and like there's a little bunch of little kids there. We're all watching this, and like the song comes on. It's just like Bustin makes me feel good. I just start like saying it. I'm like throwing it out there. The kids are just like starting to yell it too. The kids fucking love that line.
wait, so was this the original
The
Ghostbusters or
OG,
the
like
or the
1984.
it
Yeah.
wasn't the all-female cast?
No, dude, there was some we were discussing before, like thank God it wasn't that one. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just not as good. Like
Yeah.
Bill Murray is so funny in that movie, dude. So many
It
one-liners and little quips.
He's great. I was like really hungover one day, so I was like struggling to hold on.
Yeah.
And I watched Groundhog Day for like probably the fifth or sixth time, and
Nice.
it holds up every time. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And so that was last night. Just getting ready for the pods today. I was telling you earlier, like I'm nervous, but like I believe, man, they're good, and hopefully they got Joe Musgrove tonight. And I know this isn't Frisbee home run, so I don't want to spend too much time on the network. Will get mad, the producers. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked. I
You
can't
know,
believe
my
it.
wife went to high school with Musgrove.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait, like in El Cajon? She's from like she went to high school down there.
Um, I don't know the details, but
Okay.
she said that she went to high school with him, and she had a really funny story about how he got like signed,
Oh,
I guess, or drafted rather, right out of high school. And he came back. I mean, people could probably debunk the story if it's not true pretty easily, but she said he came back like after he graduated to kind of like show off to all his friends, and he had like a nice car, and it was like typical high school graduate going back and being like flexing on the kids.
yeah, dude.
She
Oh
said
man.
it was funny, but he was apparently a really nice guy. So
Yeah, I think that's kind of the consensus. Colin and I were off our rockers over the weekend, as you saw when you FaceTimed in. But I think he's recovered. He's fired up. I'm fired up. He
can you
sat in the
tell the
sun for that
story?
game
Sorry,
too.
can you tell the story of that dude that was in that
Okay.
was there with the
Yeah.
farmer's tan?
So game three, we went to the game, right? 2-1
Yeah.
pods win. We were just like absolutely obliterated. I was like so hammered, stumbled home through Balboa Park. The next day I'm supposed to leave. And I'm like, dude, I can't leave. Like it was literally like a top five hangover, dude. I felt terrible. So I'm like, I'll stick around. He's like, I'm going to a banquet for the team he's on. I forget the name now, but like the ultimate frisbee team he's on. And I'm like,
Mhm.
he's like, you should come. And I'm like, I don't know any of the guys. Like, it's cool. We'll watch the game. And like, this cool guy's hosting it. So I go, it's super sick. The backyard is like beautiful. There's a dog running around. There's like taps. We're drinking beers out of a tap. This guy's a whole legit setup. And you know how frisbee banquets are. There's some kooky guys.
Yeah,
That guy,
for sure.
the farmer stand guy was like the MC pretty much. He was like running the show. And he's a hugger. He hugged me multiple times. He all he does is like when he sees people, he just like hugs him and like embrace, like strong hug. And during the game, he's getting progressively more and more hammered. Like all the festivities are done. I'm naked in the hot tub because I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting
Of
in the hot
course you are. Of course you
tub.
are.
So like he's getting more and more inebriated, right? And like there's two squids there, and like the squids and I are talking shit the whole time. It's like funny stuff.
So I said on the group me, what are the odds of Brad's dick being out?
It was
Right?
100%.
And it was 100% out. You're in the hot tub. Yes, I know my
Anyway,
friends.
so this guy's like losing his mind. Colin's losing his mind too, right? It's like raining. It's very surreal. This guy's like holding Colin for like minutes at a time, and Colin's trying to get away. It's so funny. Colin's all sweet about it, but I'm like, dude, that guy won't stop hugging people. Anyway, yeah, he's got a strong farmer's tan, a
So
very
strong.
kooky individual. Yeah, so strong. He was a nice guy. I don't want to like roast him too much, but we ended up giving a ride home. He hiccuped the entire ride home. It was like a 15-minute Uber ride. He was just hiccuping the entire time.
Dude, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
Dude, I've read about like people who like hiccup for like 30 years of their life and shit like that. It's like I couldn't
I
even
can't
imagine
imagine.
that. I think there
Yeah.
was a story about a guy who like orgasmed every like 20 seconds or something like that. He's just like it's like what the fuck, dude? It I think it would be fun for about a day, right? And then after that, it would be exhausting.
Well, think of the places you would do it, like in the grocery store line, like at a funeral.
Dude, I don't know what I would rather. Would you rather hiccup for 30 years or
Oh,
orgasm
man.
for 10 years every
That's a great
three
question for
minutes?
the league at large because the hiccuping sucks, dude. It hurts. It's like a weird sensation. But orgasm is great, but it'd be so mortifying.
You could never have a real relationship. Like, what would you do? You're like, we got to do it now or 3 minutes from now or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I don't know. I can't imagine how you'd hold a job. Even hiccuping, like you'd probably have to be like a data scientist or someone who just
Yeah,
like sits in the wings and no one sees
sure.
you. You're in the shadows.
Yeah.
Like you can't go out in
Hiccuping in the
public just
shadows. Nutting
jizzing
in the
every
shadows.
fucking. Dude, we're about to get censored by the network here.
Definitely.
But so your life update is you were in San Diego, too hungover to survive the ride home. Which, by the way, when I saw the Warriors win the championship for the first time,
Yeah.
I was so blacked out that night. We ended up meeting some random like financial advisor guy who was trying to like hit me up for years afterwards. But we drank. He bought us like 5 or 6 tequila shots after they won.
God.
We were in LA, so we were the only Warriors fans in this bar. Like everyone else was rooting against them, and I was so like hammered the next day still and like felt
Yeah.
sick. I was at my ex's parents' house. So it was even more embarrassing.
Oh man.
And I ended up driving home and like throwing up into a cup that I had in my car. Like it was
Wow.
bad. And I remember like I talked about this before, but I remember like the first thing I heard on the radio was like, how many championship teams were better than this one? This one seems like the worst championship team of all time.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. And I'm like, man, fuck you guys. I can't even have one day of celebrating this shit without the haters crawling up. But anyway, that was kind of like my experience winning a first championship for one of my teams. It's like
Yeah.
it's
The
never
pod's got a
over.
ways to go.
It's
We got a
never
ways to go.
over
I know.
because then once they win, then there's always people who are trying to detract or
Dude,
trying to
for
be
sure.
like they were the weakest championship team, and then they're like, well, they won't repeat because they weren't that strong. And like it could be anything, and
Yeah.
you're just like, just let me have this moment.
No, for sure. I've been trying not to rub it in like with the Dodger fans up here and like they're shook and like the national media is like the baseball playoffs need to be reworked. The Dodgers shouldn't have lost, you know. And I'm like, dude, we fucking won. Like straight up, it was all legit. Now we got to beat the Phillies and then we'll see how it goes. But I believe, man, I honestly do. It's a good feeling. I'm also scared and I'll be watching and drinking at 4:30. It starts at 4:37 p.m., which is like a weird thing.
A little too early, you know.
Yeah.
A little too early. I'll be at a gig today, but I'm gonna meet up with Colin and Adam at a bar later. I can't hang out that late, but I will be probably having a couple beers with them and chilling, then coming
Sweet.
back to Livermore. But yeah, my life update, nothing too crazy. It was honestly just a lot of work. Once I came back from my trip, I had I think 11 straight days of work, and then yesterday was my first day off. But my parents were coming over, so the wifey always wants me to clean like crazy when guests are coming over. So it was really just cleaning like all day.
Yeah.
So
how was the farmers market on Sunday?
lovely. Oh man, yeah, it was lovely, but the day it just sucks. Like when your team sucks, it's hard to get excited about the NFL.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
It's like I look at my team and I'm like, how are we this bad? Like, why is Aaron Jones putting up 5 points? You know, like shit like that, where it just doesn't make any sense to me. But you know, what can you do? And what were they saying? The waiver wire is dearth of talent, and then Evan went on fucking full Grammarly on them.
Bereft.
Yeah, it's
hey man, you're preaching the choir, bro. You're preaching. I scored over 100 points. I was happy with that. That gets 2 thumbs up from Cuckfest.
Yeah, just a couple of 1-2 losers hanging out here. We suck, dude.
We do suck. There's no doubt.
We were
about
so
it.
close last year.
Yeah, I know. My team was, I thought, the team of destiny, and then no. O'Malley beat me fair and square, and now Colin's dominating, which is a thing that's happening. Scott's dominating. They're both 5-1.
Yeah, shocking. You always see like these these teams that you think are going to suck, like after the draft, you're like, there's no way that's going to work out. And I feel like every time that happens, they always
Wrong.
pan out. Always.
For sure. I think 3 years ago was Evan we were clowning on. He did good. Last year was me. I did pretty good. And then this year
we
was
were
Scott.
clowning on you hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now Scott was getting clowned on. And like it's like over 0 for 3 in a row.
Yeah. I feel like when like a lot of people are really high on a player, and this is totally like I'm pulling this out of my ass, but when a lot of people are really high on a player, it overly inflates their value. So then like everyone's like, oh, I got them at a great ADP, or I got them at a great steal, but really that ADP is inflated because everyone in the world is on this one guy. And then that leaves like a lot of value to be had for the people who are off other guys.
100%.
So I don't know. I'm starting to think the more and more that I like really think I know what I'm doing in fantasy drafts. It's like I feel like I should be zigging instead of zagging half the time.
Dude, yeah, definitely. You could write a whole PhD on that. I'm sure like that ADP inflation is a real thing. And it, you know, sometimes it pans out, but like it's so intense sometimes. Yeah, like 1 and 2, like Jefferson and Kupp are like the ones you wanted out of that, all of that. You know, it turns out they were actually good.
Well, it's the era of the wide receiver all of a sudden. Like, I remember when it was like quarterbacks. If you didn't draft a quarterback in the first round, by the way, I am never not drafting a top quarterback ever again.
But now now the ADP inflation is going to happen because I want to do that now too, and now it's going to go through the roof.
Well, I think if we went and like did like some math on my performances this year, I think I've gotten beaten in the quarterback league, or in the quarterback category rather, by like a combined like 70 points. It's like absurd how much I just get fucked by my quarterback play every week. And I was lucky that Lamar had a down week again last week, but
he beat you by like 2 the week before. The week before you won, you beat Peebly with Brady over Murray. And then you lost by 10 in week 4 against Weaver. Lost by 8 against Scott. Lost by 32 against Bill. Holy shit.
That was when I actually won that matchup shockingly, but that was when Trey Lance decided to betray me.
That's right. And then you lost by 25 to Weaver week 1. So you're overall obviously you're down by like
minus 70,
minus 70.
Like minus 90, minus 100. Who's doing math? I can't.
It's bad.
Podcast math.
Podcast math.
All right. Well, I think that's enough of an intro. And Brad, is there anything you want to say to ingratiate yourself to the fans of the podcast? I know that you're somewhat of a stranger here on Just a Couple of Best Friends Hanging Out.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. You know, I've been a long time listener, first time caller, you know. Yeah, let's fucking get after it.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is a totally non-derivative, totally original segment that we were told by a member of the network about, and I think it's a phenomenal idea. I don't think it gets much better than this, and obviously it doesn't get more creative, but this segment is called Fool's Golden Nuggets. And what we are going to do is, instead of silver linings, where we break down why the losers have a reason to feel optimistic, we are going to talk about why the winners have no reason to feel good about their victory. This is Presley. She's being way too much right now. Huh, girl? All right, get down. Get out of here. So do you want to, we can just ping pong back and forth here. I'm sure there's a lot of hidden fool's gold nuggets in these victories. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and kind of like illustrate what we're talking about here. But of course, I'm horrible at navigating the internet, as everyone knows. So I need to bring it up really. I don't know why I don't do this before I start. I think it's starting to be like it's like part of the podcast now.
Yeah.
Firing it up. All right, let me make. I know you love screen sharing, Brad. I know this is your favorite.
I do it every day.
All right, let me make us a little bit bigger so there we go. All right, let's go to last week's matchups. I think I do this. This is going to be Sketch Armstrong here. Let me go. Let me go to the link. As you guys know, I'm really good at navigating the internet. All right, here we go. So I guess since it's not fair for me to do myself, why don't you go ahead and talk about why your Padre companion, your Padre pal, is
Yeah.
actually full of fool's gold nuggets.
Yeah. So the fool's golden nugget for smuggy, smuggy, chubby, chubby. I think it's got to be. Oh man, it's tough because there's just so much mediocrity that I see right now. Like Gano is really going to be mediocre. Your special teams are in trouble. Honestly, I don't think they're going to last for too much longer. And honestly, number one for me though has to be Lamar Jackson. Last week you said he's like a ticking time bomb. He's going to blow up. 16.1 is not really blowing up. So you think you got gold, but it's actually a fool's gold. So that's your fool's golden nugget for Lamar Jackson.
I like that. Yeah. The idea of Lamar Jackson blowing up week in and week out is fool's gold.
That's exactly right.
So the next one on the list is Breeze, sir. Can I have some more against the midseason shuffle? And if this were Silver Linings playbook, I would tell Pebbles that it doesn't get much lower than this. But it's not Silver Linings playbook. This is Fool's Golden Nuggets. So we're going to talk about Breeze, sir. Can I have some more? It's so weird that he spelled Breeze like that, I guess, but it is what it is. I think your Fool's Golden Nuggets is you didn't really beat anyone competitively, right? You played against a guy that put up almost no points. He might as well have sat everybody, and it would have been as competitive. And I mean, you can't survive when two of your slots are combining for 3.3 points. So I'm not sure if you had anyone on your bench or whatever, but it just seems like
the rough bench. Woof.
Maybe you're a little bereft of talent here, and maybe got a little bit lucky by going up against someone who didn't really put up much of a fight. But that being said, Yar Bill, Yar Diamond Bill, now you're Platinum Bill.
Platinum Bill.
And he tends to find real gold nuggets often on the waiver wire and with his selections. Bill's one of the best at maximizing his lineup.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is, even with that maximization, you're still kind of struggling. Like, one receiving touchdown for this Pierce fella, that's probably pretty lucky. Yeah, just not a lot of talent on this roster. All right, so let's move on to the next Fool's Golden Nuggets for Dak in the Stackle again, which that's a really fun name.
I'm Dak in the Stackle again.
And
I'm Dak.
That's the first time I've seen that one. What's this like Woody Guthrie?
Is that? Yeah. Gene Autry, I see in the
Gene
background.
Autry, yeah. Woody Guthrie. What am I?
I'll take this one for Dak in the Stackle.
Yeah.
The Fool's Golden Nugget is the win. It's 81.3 points. Gonna get enough for the victory. Also, Mike Williams, after being meteoric, is now coming back to earth, and Keenan might be coming back. So I think that's a double Fool's Golden Nugget. Getting a win when you score under 85 and having Mike Williams. Now, I think Mostert, I fucking love Mostert, like super fast, cool surfer guy. He should be better. I hear you, Adam. I've always liked him, but 5.3 is not going to get it done that last week. So hopefully this week he bumps up. I know I keep flirting with Silver Linings playbook territory, but
yeah, the Fool's Gold is obviously getting a win when you have 4.3, 3.3, 5.1, 5.3, 6.5, and 2.7 from all of your skill position players, except for CeeDee Lamb, who put up 10. So it's not like he even crushed. Really, I mean, when your kicker outscores everyone but your quarterback, you know that it's a little bit of a fool's golden nugget to get that W. But hey, in this league, a W is a W. So I'm not sure if you've heard that before. A win is a win, whether you win by an inch or by a mile. Family.
That was an inch.
Yeah. All right. So, what's the king to a Godwin? This one's going to be a tough fool's golden nugget because I do believe in Sean's team, and I think Sean, dude, he cucked you so hard.
I
Look
got
at
smoked.
this,
I got fucking smoked.
dude. Yeah, he beat you by. Was that the biggest blowout of the week?
Let me unconfirmed, but I did have to pay him money for that, which is a double whammy. No, the biggest
Oh
blowout was,
no, dude.
I know, it was Bill over Peebly. It's
Oh, okay.
43.7 for that one.
Wow, dude. At least I got my pick right.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow. I think the only way you can really talk about fool's gold with this roster, because I think it's really well constructed,
Yeah.
is you don't really foresee Brandon Ayuk getting 24 points every single week. I mean, he definitely hasn't, right? Yeah, 7, 5, 11, 8, 5. He's more of like he almost feels like more of a dice roll flex play at this point in his career.
Yeah.
He's never shown any kind of level of what's it called? Consistency. God, I've fucking spaced out hard on that word.
I was watching that game on the couch at Colin's house, and it was just backbreakers watching this guy just score 2 touchdowns. I was like, damn it, dude, what?
Yeah. He was definitely well above and beyond, not his ability, but his usual production.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's pretty. I mean, you're gonna get a lot from Allen and Diggs. Godwin is coming back now, so he's probably going to continue to put up points. Yeah, I think Sean has a really good team. I think he's going to be hard to beat down the road. Yeah. But if I had to pick a fool's golden nugget, it would be Brandon Ayuk. And since you're a special guest here, I'll give you some silver lining. It looks like you totally won that Lazard trade. I'm very butthurt about that. But you gotta take risks to win in this league. And at the time, it looked like with Trey Lance going out and Tom Brady being bewitched,
for sure,
I just needed to make a change.
Rodgers is surprising. He's doing so bad. My non-silver linings is I got to stop starting DJ Moore, dude. That Carolina offense is a fucking disaster. A true dumpster fire.
Don't you get me started on that. No, it's bad. But yeah, getting 0.8 from Melvin Gordon.
I was triggered, dude. I was like, what? 0.8? He's got negative before too.
I was really bummed to lose by such a close margin last week. All right. So now we have a couple more fool's golden nuggets.
Yeah.
Trademark.
The bone saw is ready. Oh man, I love that. That was killing me. Let's see. The fool's golden nugget for eBird. It's got to be the Jacksonville. It's continuing to be Jacksonville. Like that was a true golden nugget at the beginning. Like, holy shit, dude, he knew it. And then they're just like, Kirk has come down to earth, 4 catches for 24 yards. Very lucky. One of them was a touchdown. Like that. Yeah, if that's not a TD, that's just like devastating, and you lose, right? So that saves you.
Yeah, that's really close.
Those are rough. I mean, I'm also the San Francisco defense getting only 2 versus Atlanta. That's a real fool's golden nugget. You think they're going to do a lot better, and then it's just like, with that in the bank now, like, can you trust them next week? Can you trust them going forward? So
they're a little banged up from what I'm hearing from all my Homer Niner fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, like, a lot of the Niner fans and a lot of the experts predicted the Niners to lose this game because of the banged up defense, and also that the Atlanta Falcons are a little bit rowdier than people give them credit
sneaky
for.
Good, dude. They're sneaky.
So yeah, the fool's golden nugget there is I guess yeah, I don't know. The Jacksonville core can't do well forever. I mean, they didn't even do well in this game, to be honest. Right. But
with 27 points, it's rough.
Yeah, how long can you rely on them? Mm-hmm. For me, I'd say the fool's gold is certainly getting 13 and 20 from Mark Andrews and Thielen. That's a lot for your tight end and your flex. But I mean, Mark Andrews, and by the way, I hate it when the other podcasts call him Mandrews. That makes me want to die whenever they do that. But Mark Andrews, I mean, I guess he is putting up 20 points. Look at that.
I think he's the best tight end in the league. I guess Kelsey, him and Kelsey, I think.
Yeah. So maybe I'm off here, but it seems like, is he really going to continue to put that up every week? But fuck it. I guess he is. All right. So that leads me to my last fool's gold nuggets, which is PEDs. I think this one's obvious. You barely you barely rostered a team. Maybe this is actually a golden nugget in reality, because you barely rostered a team and you got the W. I mean, we've talking about true fool's golden nuggets, and in fact, I'm going to flip this. The fool's golden nugget is Weaver thinking that he had a good team, and his record is completely fool's golden nugget. There's no way that he'd be 4-2 if he had most, I think, most schedules in this league. What does he have? Points for 612. I have more than
down
him.
There with Cut Me Black, dude. Yeah, we're all down there.
Yeah, well, 580.
And me and Dak in the stack, we got the 580s, baby. 580 club.
Dak in the stackle. All right. So that's really the fool's gold nugget. I think Scott actually has a really amazing team. I think he's going to do well.
Dude, yeah. I was going to say last week he was starting like that K Shakir guy, and then he changed it up and he started this K Walker the third. I had no idea who this guy is. And he gets 18. And then Deion Jackson and Indy, like dude, he's just like they dominated. They scored 40 points combined. So like I was like very savvy moves. Very savvy.
Shocking. Yeah, shocking. I want to look at it one more time. Yeah, this
Scantling with the 0 and the 0.2,
Deion.
you still win. Damn.
Oh, yeah, really tough. All right, let me see if anyone. There are absolutely no mailbag questions from you losers. The only question I got was from Bill. And how many times is Colin gonna say I'm in trouble, Black, when he's dominating teams? Because I was pretty fucking annoyed with him when I was losing to him, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm in trouble," when he's like still projected to beat me by like 35 points. I'm like, why don't you chill, dude?
I think him and I said a statement ending with the word black on Saturday and Friday combined 350 times. We were saying it at that banquet where nobody else is from Black Tie. They all started saying it. It was great.
They were, huh? They hate Black Tie, dude. They fucking hate Black Tie. I remember thinking all those San Diego dudes, like we were like, fuck these guys. We'd play them and just hate them. Then we kind of realized they're just kind of like our alter egos, They're just like they're the same kind of dudes that we are.
They really are.
Just down south, and we hate that,
Yeah, we do.
But they're actually pretty good time to hang out with. I've hung out with those guys multiple times, and actually turns out pretty fun.
Quick tangent. We were playing cornhole, Colin and I versus two squids, and we were just started a new game, and I threw him without like thinking, and the squid guy wasn't looking, and my bag made direct contact with his nuts and fell on the board for a point. And me, Colin, and the other squids guy were laughing for like 3 minutes straight. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He got fucking blasted in the nuts by me throwing a cornhole bag, and I got a point for it.
There's got to be some rule about like hitting the guy. You can't backboard a guy.
It was such a bad throw, dude. It was so bad.
Dude, so bad. All right. Well, I need to do this next segment. So do you want to take a minute to ruminate about I guess about anything you want for the next minute or so? I need to go grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, rumination while Stu is taking a quick break. This is a break with Brad, brought to you by PlayStation 5. Anyway, I'm excited for this week in fantasy, even though my team is 1-5. I'm also excited that there's a lot of bad teams this year down there with me. 8 through 12, a combined 8 wins. So not a lot of separation down there at the bottom. I am excited with my roster pickup. I got, I already forget his name. I got Kenyon Drake after that breakout. I also looked today. I'm like, oh, wait, McCaffrey. This may be foreshadowing for the next segment, but McCaffrey getting traded. That means there's going to be a new running back in Carolina. I look, they both got picked up yesterday because I'm completely off my rocker. But Chuba Hubbard and Dante Foreman are no longer on the waiver wire, and I didn't think to look until about 30 minutes ago. So that goes to show what kind of season I'm having in fantasy.
Dude, so this is our let me go ahead and stop sharing. Don't worry, I'll regain sharing the screen pretty soon. By the way, that was the other shit that they did. They started sharing their screen and stuff, and I'm like, bro, how many segments are you gonna steal of mine?
Screen share may be untrademarkable. Maybe you could trademark it.
Under review with Stu and Brad too. But before all that, I actually kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Before all that, I'm supposed to pay up on this bet that I lost against Colin, even though he was in real serious trouble for some points.
I'm in trouble, Black.
No, so not in trouble. So I guess the answer to that question, Bill, is unlimited time. He's going to say it forever. All right. I have to talk about Colin for 1 minute. So here we go. Colin, you are one of the best friends that any one of us could have. You're loyal. You're friendly. You're rarely in a bad mood unless it's for some random shit that makes no sense. But that happens so infrequently that we barely think about it, which is why I probably shouldn't have brought it up within the first 10 seconds of talking about how awesome you are. I'm very excited to hang out with you this weekend. You will be in Lafayette tonight and then crashing at Casa de McGood for Saturday night and Sunday night. And then I'll have to drive you to the airport at 6 a.m. for some reason. Not sure why you booked a flight at 8 a.m. out of Oakland in the Bay Area on a Monday, but you did. And you're such a good friend that I'm going to take you to the airport, even though I should probably just throw your ass on the BART train. Oh, well, there you go. There's the time. Colin, in all seriousness, you are having a great season, and you really deserve to have a great season after all the horrible seasons you've had. All right. So here's my shot of bullet. Has my name on it.
I'll cheers with water. Sparkling cheers. Water. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, Colin. That was a classic Stu compliment. Like, really well done, very genuine. Also throw in a couple like hilarious zingers. That was good. Well done.
Thank you. So let's get right into it. Under review with Stu. We're going to talk about the CMC trade, obviously. I was going to talk about some other stuff, but I think you kind of have to talk about the CMC trade. So let me go ahead and regain my screen share, and maybe we can read a couple articles about this situation. I guess I'll just kind of touch on my initial feelings when I saw it. It's kind of like when you broke up with somebody and for good reason, like you understand that it's over and it deserves to be over, and you don't really have a chance with them again. You don't really think that you deserve them. And then out of all people, they start dating that person that you absolutely hate. And it feels bad. But then at the same time, maybe in your heart of hearts, you know that that person that you hate is really the right person for them and is going to do great things for them, going to be, nice and loyal and make them breakfast in bed or whatever. And that's how I feel about Christian McCaffrey going to the 49ers, a team that, as you know, I've irrationally hated after getting bullied as a young child in my Kerry Collins jersey. It's hard for me to root for the Niners because of this. It's just childhood conditioning of being attacked for being a Panthers fan in the Bay Area. So it is hard to see Christian McCaffrey go to the 49ers, but at the same time, it feels like the perfect place for him. He's back home. He played college at Stanford, as many people know. He's going to a team where he is going to have nothing but open field ahead of him. It's going to be incredible. They have such a versatile offense. They have a running back who could be a wide receiver now. They have a wide receiver who could be a running back in Debo. And they have, a fullback who could be a running back. And they have a tight end that could be a fullback. Dude, I'm just kind of pulling shit out of my ass now, but all they need is a quarterback at this point. But I think Garoppolo is just going to be able to do just enough to keep the ship going. But what are your initial thoughts while I try to find a nice article on this?
Yeah, so Panthers received 2023 second round, third round, and fourth round pick. So just in next year's draft, they're going to get 3 very solid position picks and then another fourth in 2024. I mean, McCaffrey's a stud, man. I loved watching him Stanford. It's cool he's going back to the Bay Area. I do think the Niners will benefit from this. The Carolina with Cam being gone and just McCaffrey being the guy to watch and just watching. I mean, I've been watching their team this year, as I know you have. Like DJ Moore, McCaffrey, just like not a lot going on because Baker sucks. That team playing under a fired head coach. I'm happy to see McCaffrey go somewhere new. But I hear you on like, you're not a Niners fan. That would be rough. Seeing your girl date someone you don't like would be fucking devastating. Like, even if she is making, all the perks of a good relationship. I'm curious how you're gonna feel when you watch him. Are you gonna like root for him to like, go off? Are you gonna be like
I'm gonna root for him to do really well.
Yeah.
It was similar to when not entirely similar because the Steve Smith thing was bad blood. Like we released him out of nowhere because apparently he kind of butted heads with Cam in the locker room a little bit. It was like kind of like an old head versus a new head, and they needed to like kind of clear out the leadership in order for Cam to really take his foothold for the team, which turned out to be a Super Bowl appearance, which you can't be too mad at. But when we released Steve Smith, he went to the Ravens, and I remember we played him in that season, and I had that game circled because I wanted to see Steve Smith destroy the Panthers in a Panthers victory. That was like what I was hoping for.
Right.
And he ended up absolutely destroying the Panthers.
Right. I remember that. I think I had him that year in fantasy on Baltimore, and he was really fucking good.
Yeah. I feel like I might have had him because I loved him so much, but I might have had the year after that.
Maybe, yeah.
But I feel the same way about Christian. It's kind of weird because Christian, I think he only played in like one playoff game for us. Let me look up Pro Football. What's it? Pro Football Focus. I think that's what it is. Right? That's where you can like see all the shit.
Reference. I'm gonna go to
Pro Football Reference. That's right. Pro Football Reference. I want to see how many playoff games he did because I remember one game. I think it was against the Saints where he had an amazing play when it looked like we were like completely dead in the water. So let me look it up, and then maybe we can look up that game and kind of review it a little bit. There he is. There's my guy. But also, I mean, like, it was also really sad. It was also really sad to lose him for the last 2 years. And then so we couldn't really get to see what his potential was.
I found it. If you want me to share, you gotta go to game logs. It's kind of hidden.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, and then go to postseason.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
there's just one game.
Yeah, one game against New Orleans. Let's look it up. This is under review with Stu. This is the hard-hitting shit that everyone loves.
Yeah, real quick, he had 6 catches for 101 yards and a TD in that game. And then
I remember that TD came very late, if I remember correctly. I think it was Saints.
Yeah, Saints confirmed. There you go.
Yeah. Here we go. So this was look at this. 19-20. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. Cam Newton at quarterback. This was like our last hurrah. I think it was pretty much our last playoff game. Tough way to go out. But it might be a little choppy, but we'll show it anyway. And I remember we thought we were dead in the water, and then this happens. And it's like, oh my God, we're back.
Just outrunning everybody, dude.
Yeah, we're back, baby. And this game ended up being like, look at that. I'm pretty sure we had a chance to win that game too. When was this? All right, Panthers. Let's look at the last few plays of the game. But I remember this is under review with Stu. So this is my fondest memory of Christian McCaffrey. Saints playoffs. What was this? 2018?
2018.
I think, yeah, it turns out we didn't score after that, but let's see what happens at the very end there. So we get the ball back, obviously, and Cam was so good back then. Look at that little toe tap, DJ Moore. I remember watching this at Woodstock in Isla Vista after like it was like a hats tournament or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we ended up thinking we were going to be able to make this comeback, which was improbable at the time. But Christian McCaffrey again, wheel route. Who gets what other wide receiver gets double covered and then held on a wheel route?
Yeah.
Coming out of the backfield like that. It's like he's the guy.
Yeah.
And the Niners are just going to do so much more with him than the Panthers ever could. I mean, he's obviously had some incredible years. Fastest player to 3,000 receiving and passing yards. And at the end of this, it was just we couldn't quite break on through. But the only reason we were even close is because of Christian McCaffrey making that play out of the backfield. I mean, his hands and his footwork, they're slot receiver.
Yeah, he's elite.
He's elite, and he's putting it down and holding it down for whiteys everywhere as the only white running back in history. Not what was that one guy on the Browns? Peyton Hillis. Was it Peyton Hillis?
Yeah, he was on the Madden cover and they never played again, pretty much.
yeah. He was fun to watch. He was like Mike. Oh, Mike Allstott's another guy, but he's a fullback technically, I guess. So,
right.
But I remember watching Allstott as a kid too, and just being like, this guy's so sick. But yeah, rest in peace, Panthers. Christian McCaffrey. Sad to see him go, but also happy for him to be.
You think they trade anybody else like DJ Moore? Or are they just kind of what do you think's going to happen the rest of the season?
There's been reports that Brian Burns will get traded, but that is so crazy to me. It's like you have this stud defensive end. Like that's the position that you want to build around. We have Shaq Thompson. He's a stud linebacker. We have Brian Burns, stud defensive end. We've got Jeremy Chin, stud safety. And we've got JC Horn, who's a stud cornerback. And it's like, and Dante Jackson is also a really good cornerback. And you'd think well, then why does your team suck so much if your defense is so good? It's because they're always put in horrible positions. They're always on the field.
Yeah.
And they just can't catch a break. So my advice to the Panthers, obviously as some fucking slack-jawed couch potato, is just keep your defense intact and try to work on the offense. That's what I would do. Put the money into the defense, get a good quarterback on a rookie deal, and just try to improve your line best you can. But who am I? I'm just some moron on the couch. So
you know the team, man. You know what's going on. But yeah, I mean they're 3-4, right? Like it's not the worst record, but
no, they're the worst. They're 1-5. They're me, dude. We're the same.
I was looking at scheduled. Yeah, there's like us. I was looking, and they have preseason like records. Like, why would you have that included? Yeah, they're 1-5. Yeah, that's
dude,
just like you and me.
They're bad. All right, so this brings us to. By the way, thanks for doing this podcast. I remember this all came about because I drunkenly text you from the cruise ship, bro, I want to do podcast with you.
I was down. I'm glad it worked out too, because I probably only could have done during the week. This is a Friday around noon. We're taping this, so this is working out perfectly, man. I'm happy to be on here. First time listener or long time listener, first time listener, first time caller. Who am I? What is this? Yeah.
All right, so here we are. I'm sharing the correct screen, right? I'm not a moron. Here we go.
You versus Adam. Yep.
I was gonna change my name to I'm in trouble, Black. I'm in trouble, Black.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, no one's even commented how my avatar is fucking Scott's dorky dude from that video game he was talking about.
Dude, okay, I was gonna say I don't know who the fuck that is. That's what it's from.
Yeah, it's from. Remember when he was talking about his online video game that he played all the time?
Yeah, okay. And this is
I screen grabbed it and made it my avatar, and no one said anything about it. And I thought it was so funny when I did.
It's so niche, dude. Who the fuck is that
guy? So stupid, dude. But stupid. Yeah, I wish I got more hashtag credit for that. But so I'm unvaxxed but immunized versus Dak in the Stackle again. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Bradley?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I thought you had a good team with Ramondre and Aaron Jones, and I'm glad Mr. St. Brown is back playing for you. You now have Zay Jones on Jacksonville.
Did I really
So,
bully you into dropping him? I feel
yes,
like
I got bullied. I was gonna drop him anyway, but I got bullied. I was like, okay, it's like all this erroneous podcast bullying really doesn't work on me anymore. I'm hashtag immune. Anyway, dude, I think everything about I like most of the positions on your team. I have, yet you're 1-5. So like, what does that mean? Like you've had some bad weeks. Adam has Derrick Henry going, which is always scary. I don't like playing against him.
yeah, especially I mean in
As
this
of right now, yeah.
yeah,
Go
sorry, I
ahead.
didn't mean to interrupt. In this matchup against Indianapolis, I feel like wow, look at his points lately.
Yeah, dude,
Man,
you're in big.
everyone buried him in the preseason too, but
I
whatever.
know. The only thing I would add here is that it's Dak in the stack again. He's currently starting Trevor Lawrence. I imagine that will change, and you got to worry about the Prescott CD Lamb going off against Detroit. That's a real trouble matchup for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for
um,
sure.
this is a battle of the 10 versus 11, right? Like he's second lowest points in the league. I actually think you both probably going to have a pretty strong scoring week. I think I'm going to pick Adam because of Dak and the CD Lamb combo. It's just too
Yeah,
dangerous. I'm
I
scared
I
for
picked
you.
myself just to try to switch it up. I think I've picked against myself every week,
Yeah.
except for maybe Colin. But I can't even remember who I actually clicked on that matchup. I'm pretty sure I clicked Colin for my official pick. I'm in trouble, man. I need to I kind of like my New York defense against Denver because Denver is such trash.
So bad.
But my I think honestly my biggest issue has been injuries this year.
Mhm.
Um, apparently, like I've been like kind of juggling players on my waiver wire and or on the waiver wire and on my bench, like gambling on players being healthy again. Like I spent money on Butker and then he was out for 2 weeks.
Right.
My Bateman guy, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, they've been out. Darren Waller is all of a sudden probably not going to play, so I have to go to bullshit
Yeah.
Will Disley or someone else again.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many issues with my team. God, why won't this exit out?
I
Whatever.
hate when Yahoo does that. I'm glad it's
Yeah,
happened to you too.
and yeah, I've just had a lot of injuries. So now Bateman might not play, Waller might not play. I think I'm in trouble. I picked myself kind of out of like
Mhm.
hopefulness, but I think
As you
it's
should.
probably going to be Adam who takes this one, especially with Dak Prescott if he comes back. I think that's going to be tough for me to win that. Amon-Ra
Yeah.
St. Brown though, I'm so happy he's back. He's my guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's really
He
good.
is my guy. All right, so I'll stick with myself just for hope, and I have it. I mean, that's obviously my pick there, and you'll take Adam.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say Adam's probably favored here. So I picked PEDs, and this is another thing that I'm upset about. I had Benjamin, and I dropped him.
Yeah.
So he's another guy where I was just like, fuck me, right? Like, bad decision. I've just been a horrible manager this year, to be honest. I've just been like everything. You know how you like make gambles every season throughout the season, and sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. My championship seasons, it felt like everything I touched turned to gold, and this year it feels like everything I do is like opposite of that. It turns to shit.
Yeah.
So
Hang in there.
I picked Scott. I still think Scott has a strong chance to win,
Mhm.
um, despite getting 21 from Benjamin and Kyler doing Kyler shit. What a game, huh? 42-4. I hadn't even looked at the result of that game.
Yeah.
Hopkins
Yeah.
is back, which is another feather in the cap for PEDs.
Yeah, it really
His
is.
team
10
is
catches for
stacked.
103 yards. Holy shit.
Yeah, his team is stacked. So
No doubt.
obviously I picked PEDs. I think when every single one of your players is projected double digits, you're in good shape.
Yeah. I also am going to go with PEDs. Burrow had a great game last week. Metcalf and K Walker the third are in LA playing the Clippers, and they
Oh yeah.
can't stop anybody. So I think they're also that's going to be like 40 to 38 at something crazy. This guy, fucking the Houston running back, man, Damian Pierce. I literally had no idea who he was into draft weekend, and he's been great. So it just goes to show how little I know about fantasy. And then if he gets Swift back, like, dude, yeah, the sky is the limit for Scott's team. Honestly, I think it's going to be a big week for him.
Yeah, his team is really good. Um, and yeah, as for Pebbles, I think his team is just kind of in trouble. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
he's starting a
I
guy.
like
He's starting a
Benjamin.
guy who's projected 3 points.
Yeah, dude. And yeah, needs a kicker. G. Wilson, Garrett Wilson on the Jets, like with Ether Wilson throwing the ball. Like you don't really know, right? I'm glad you didn't start Robbie Anderson, Pebs. You did good. 0.0 on the bench. Nice work from a managerial perspective.
So yeah, he's got Chuba, who is probably going to be one of the top two backs, according to that. And I think honestly, Chuba will probably be the top back. Dante Foreman, he might get the goal line carries, which could, sap some production from Chuba. But I think Chuba should probably be the guy in Carolina. Not that it's saying much because our offense is uh, bereft of talent.
Yes,
All right. So you have Scott in this one?
I do over Pebbles. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Scott over Pebbles as well. And I think it's honestly going to start being a lot of downhill performances for poor Pebbles this season.
Yeah, the
I think
mid-season shuffle.
it's starting to be very clear who the contenders are and who the future toilet bowl contenders are.
I think you and I are in that latter category, my friend.
I'm just hoping my team finally shows up at some point. I've heard
Yeah.
stories about like people winning championships when they start 1-6, 0-6. So
Dude, that would be incredible. I would love to see that from somebody.
I'm gonna hold out hope until there's no hope to be had.
You and me both, Buckaroo.
All right, so I picked Sean, but his chances are now a little bit hurt because Rondale Moore had a unexpectedly bad performance after I guess when Hopkins came back. It was kind of like back to the to the baby seat with you.
Yep.
Strapped him in and one of two targets. That's tough. He's probably lucky he got 36 or 3.6, 31 yards.
Sure.
Taysom Hill remains maybe the best pickup of the offseason, even though we laughed him out of the league almost with how much he spent. And obviously he didn't need to spend that much, but turns out that I mean, look at this. 35. I mean, I guess 4.5 isn't very good, but 35 in 1 week is like really, really good.
This is Bacon's week for bye. If you look at the benches, you can see Bacon is he's in like Scott last week, right? Like just so screwed. The team he's fielding looks pretty decent. I mean, Claypool is actually turning around. He played really well last week, I thought, and that guy's a knucklehead, but he's doing good. And Bacon actually has the running back in Chicago you want. Peebly has Khalil Herbert and Bacon's got Montgomery. So I don't think it's looking too bleak for him this week. I would pick O'Malley just because he smoked me last week. And it really, I don't know what's going on. You're starting Jimmy G, O'Malley, but
he doesn't have his stack. Yeah, he doesn't have.
Yeah, you're not starting Ayuk. I don't know what's up with that though. Like I feel like you should start Ayuk, but
I was a little shook that he didn't start Ayuk over Rondale Moore, especially coming off like a 24-point performance.
I agree. That was a surprising managerial decision, but he's got Hawk and Cock. You know how I feel about him. Tampa Bay at Carolina. That's going to be a good one for him. So,
I thought you meant a good one in general. I was like,
no. O'Malley's looking good. The Panthers are looking tough now because of that.
It's not going to look good.
Yeah.
All right. So, who do you have in this one?
I got O'Malley.
Yeah, I still have O'Malley as well. Jimmy GQ. That's going to be, I think it has potential to be a high scoring game. Kansas City can give up points. They have like I feel like an opportunistic defense. But they can also be had. So I still like Sean. It would take Jimmy to put up like a truly awful game, like 3 points or something like that for him to be in trouble. So yeah, I got Sean. Let's move on to Bill versus Smuggy. Colin.
Smuggy, chubby. He's still waiting for the Lamar pop-off game after his first couple weeks. Chubb is going to get you your points, as always. Waddle should benefit from Tua coming back, which is good for him as well. We'll see if he starts Amari Cooper at the right time. Again, that's always a fun thing to watch. I think Bill has a fighting chance. I really do. I think it's with, like as you mentioned, with the new running back in Carolina, even though he may not be the number one guy, I think he could get in there with New England versus Chicago. New England could put up 20 points. It's one of those weeks. You don't know. Pierce had a touchdown last week, could get another one. And yeah, with Tyreek again, it's like kind of Tyreek versus Waddle, and then I have Tua. So it's like who's going to benefit the most from the quarterback coming back? I'm going to pick Bill. I think it's time for Colin to get a second loss. I'm going with Bill on this one. What do you think?
Interesting. Yeah, I went with Colin. I think he's been able to stay afloat despite poor performances from Lamar. And I'm not sure if this is going to be another poor performance by him. I mean, apparently there's going to be weather in Cleveland, but that just might mean he runs more. Who knows?
Right.
But I like his team. Again, you said like Waddle has Tua coming back allegedly.
Yeah.
So he's limited in practice, but I mean, he's played mostly well. There were a few games there that he didn't play too well, but I think Colin has a great chance to win. I'm not totally buying Bill's team. I think the Matt Ryan start is tough. I mean, that seems like an anomaly. Like, look at.
Yeah, that's more about right.
Yeah. I think that Mike Evans is going to be shadowed by JC Horn if JC is healthy. I'm pretty sure he is. So he might not be the top point getter there in Tampa Bay. But yeah, I mean, I just think Colin has more consistency on his side. I think Bill could definitely hit on a few of these, but he's asking for a lot of like dice rolls to go in his favor. Whereas I think Colin has a more secure floor and therefore the better odds to win. So I picked Colin on this one.
Colin's got a hell of a team. There's no doubt about it. He's been playing well. They've all been playing
and I look
well.
forward to seeing him this evening in Lafayette,
you guys
California.
Have a great time. It's always a good time with Mr. Gall, the Buckaroo master himself.
Yes, indeed.
Here we go. Matchup of the week.
We're Gabe now with Cuck Me Black, and y'all are getting cucked, but you're still silver, so that's good.
Yeah, dude. I'm plummeting in the rankings. It's not good.
Me too, because my other two leagues I'm like garbage in. I don't really care about them that much, and it's like definitely affecting my bottom line.
I remember sitting next to you in Malibu and you were drafting another team, and we were just like cracking jokes. You're not paying attention. Oh shit, I'm on the clock.
Yeah, no, I didn't care. All right, so I do like your Olave trade. I thought he looked really good in a few of those early games, and I thought you pulled the trigger at a good time.
Yeah.
I think you have a similar issue to like me or like Bill. It's like the floor isn't necessarily safe for your players. Like Dubes, he's been so inconsistent. And I mean, starting two Green Bay wide receivers is a little bit
I'm shook on that, by the way.
a little bit asking for it. But Kenyon Drake, he's been like putting up yards. So I'm hoping that for your sake that Baltimore will see this and be like, maybe we should give him more chances here because he's playing really well.
Dobbins isn't going to play most likely, so he'll be the RB1, which I'm counting on. I can't start Melvin Gordon, dude. Melvin Gordon, DJ Moore, I have to bench. Like they're just
to. Yeah, it's tough to start either of them. Maybe Judge Judy over Dubes, but I mean it's tough to say.
It's tough to say. Max has a great team. Saquon is back to being Saquads again. He's got Devontae now against me. This is a matchup of the tradesmen, right? I got Tua, I got Olave, I can't start Sanders this week because he's on a bye, but it's a lot going on. We'll see how it goes. I was very happy with last night's game. Ertz and Kamara having reasonable totals. No one going crazy.
Yeah.
No touchdowns for either of them. So we'll see, man. I want to pick myself. I would like to pick myself, but I mean, even the live projection, I'm supposed to lose by 15. So
yeah, I think you're in a lot of trouble here. Just like across the board, it feels like he has more reliable options. And I think when it comes to fantasy, it's all about reliability and like floor.
Yeah.
Even more so than blow up games. Like blow up games are so impossible to predict. You just want to make sure you have a a nice floor more than anything. Like
Yeah.
if everybody on your team scored 10 points, like, and then your quarterback scored like 15, you'd get like 100 and what, 105, 110 every
Yeah.
week, something like that. And like if you scored 110 every week, you'd be in contention to win every week because
I think so. I think it'd be 3-3 or 4-2 right
so
now.
you just need that safe floor. Like, and then if you get one or two booms, you're golden. So
Right.
yeah, I have Max here. You have yourself, or are you
Yeah,
picking?
I'm gonna pick myself. Fuck it.
Oh,
Do
nice.
it.
Someone has to, you know?
Somebody has to.
Yeah. Chasing W's. I think I liked Born Again Virgins better, but it turns out Russell is on the bench.
Yeah, dude.
He gone.
As he should, man. Dude, he's been cringeworthy, man. That whole vibe, his whole vibe is just like
His whole
weird.
vibe is super cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I picked Evan for this one.
Mhm.
I just don't believe in Weaver's squad, honestly. But now he's getting Keenan Allen back, so that could be a boom to him. I just don't believe in it. I don't know what else to say. I think he has what, like the second, third lowest point total in the league. Evans proven he has a very high point total. His guys have been putting up numbers. Now he
Yep.
has Christian McCaffrey, who should play, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco, he's going to be a problem. Debo is going to be great as always. Apparently, Andrews has been putting up 20 points a week. He has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. It's just hard to bet against for me. So I have Evan.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Evan. Maybe one of the reasons why is that great name that it makes me laugh every time I look at it. Geno Smith, Weaver and I battled for him last week on the waiver wire, and he scored 12. So I don't know if he's going to go back to scoring 30. I mean, he is playing again. They're at the Clippers, so that's like not a bad start. I like Weaver's receivers, like Jamar Chase, Deontay Johnson, Keenan Allen, if he can play. Yeah, I don't know about really anybody else in the lineup. And then yeah, Mahomes for Evan. It's just, and hopefully he may have a good game against SF. McCaffrey's definitely gonna get 20 touches, I would guess. Like they're gonna feed him the ball.
It's tough to say. Like, who knows? Kyle Shanahan, he's such a weirdo. Like, anytime he has a player that's supposed to be like a top player, like whether it's a top draft pick or whatever, it
Yeah,
feels like he does the opposite of what most people think he should do with these like top talents, and he always
yeah,
relies on these like middling talents, um except for the defensive aspect of it. But like the offense, I feel like there aren't very many like highly touted
mm-hmm.
players on his offense. So is he gonna do this move where he's like, oh, Christian probably doesn't understand our scheme yet, or what? Who knows what it could be? And he doesn't play him this week. That would be, or doesn't play him much this week. That would be my only concern about Evan's team, is maybe Christian doesn't get the love he's supposed to. But even then, like, he's projected for 11 points. That could very well happen.
Dude,
He
he's
could
still
very
putting up
well.
fat numbers even on Carolina. He's so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mr. Brad?
Closing thoughts is thank you for hosting me, man. I'm happy to be here. Fun going through it. As always, I don't really know a lot about fantasy. So anyone that has trouble with my picks, send me a text. And yeah, man, again, thanks a lot. This is a lot of fun. Happy to be here.
Yeah, dude. Wish I could hang out with you soon. And
Yeah,
then,
enjoy the time.
yeah, if we could, we'd be just a couple of best friends hanging out.
We're so close.
Here, wait, hold up. Let me play us out.
To play us out. What does that mean? Fuck it, I'll do it live. Dad's got the guitar out.
So I don't fuck this up.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Just a couple of best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out. Yeah. Right, that was
Thanks,
awful,
man.
but thanks everyone. Later.
See you.